Okay, Joel gave me an out-of-body experience on June 10th. I think that was a weekend. And so anyway, I was kind of shocked that I got the experience. I'm just shocked sometimes that, you know, I talk to him and he gives me experiences 9 times out of 10, you know? So sometimes I'm just kind of shocked. Okay, so anyway, so this experience was pretty fast. But anyway, so basically, he took me out of body and I was flying. I don't know what city I was in or whatever, but I did feel like I was in a different dimension. And so I was flying like, I would say about 20, let's see, 20 stories high, or 25 or 30, something like that. And let's see, I was going, I don't know what direction that is, but I was going, if north is straight ahead, I was going west. And it was kind of cloudy. Okay, it's kind of cloudy, but not when I got down to the ground. It was kind of cloudy, and I just kept flying, you know, on my stomach, astral traveling. And I was just flying at about, you know, on my stomach with my hands out, my arms out. And I was flying about, not real fast, but like, let's see, 20, no, not even that, about 15 miles an hour. And the whole time I was just thinking, damn, I can't believe I'm really getting this experience. And I just kept, you know, flying over the city, whatever it was. I was looking down and I was looking at the buildings and everything. And like I said, I did feel like I was in a different dimension. I'm not sure what city I was in the different dimension, but, and like I said, I've been having these experiences all my freaking life, and a lot of bits and pieces are just like bam, 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 coming back from experiences that I had, I mean, like 20, 30, 40 years ago. All these little, you know, out-of-body experiences, virtual reality experiences, lucid dreams. I mean, just bam, 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 bam. Little bits and pieces just coming back. Bam, 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 bam. But, so anyway, the whole time I was flying, I was just like, I don't know if I thought it up myself or if he relayed the message to me, but he could have relayed the message to me, but basically he told me, or I thought it up myself. I was just like, wow, like, you know, I'm the only person that gets, you know, this many out-of-body experiences. And you know, and I knew that, you know, I just couldn't believe all these experiences that I get from him. And so I don't know if he really communicated that to me or if I thought it up myself. But anyway, I had those thoughts like I'm the only person in the world that gets this many out-of-body experiences. And that, you know, Joel, I'm the only person that he gives them, you know, to. And, but anyway, I was kind of shocked that I got to experience it anyway, because like I say, I talked to him so many times, and then 9 times out of 10 he gives me an experience, and sometimes I just don't really expect one, and then he'll give me one. But anyway, okay, so then, and like I said, I don't know if I thought all of that stuff up myself or if he kind of made me think all of that. But anyway, so finally he put me, and I flew, I mean, over the city for quite some time, and I was looking down, looking at all the buildings and everything, and, you know, grass and everything. And when he stuck me down he placed me down, you know, when I landed, he placed me down on the ground, and just in the middle of nowhere in some grass. And there was like 2 or 3 people there too, sitting there, and I cannot remember who they were. But yeah, and I don't remember interacting with them, but they were sitting there, and I was sitting there in the grass. Now that time it was sunny, And, but when I was flying, like I said, it wasn't exactly sunny. It was more just not really cloudy, just not sunny. And then when like I said, when he placed me in the grass, when I got down to the ground, and you know, there was still buildings around and everything, but I was just in the grass. And I was sitting there in the grass, and I was thinking, am I really out of body? Like, I don't even think I'm really out of body. There's no way I could be out of body, because this is just too boring. There's no way he would give me an experience like that, like a boring experience, where I'm just sitting there in the grass doing nothing. And, and like sometimes I think he probably, you know, confuses me, like on purpose, you know? But like, yeah, I just was like I was confused, because I was just like, am I really out of body? Like, I don't know. I mean, not when I was flying over the city, when I kept flying, astral traveling, you know, I knew I really was out of body, you know. But then, like I said, once he put me in the grass, just sitting there, that's when he was confusing me, because I was just like, I really didn't think I was out of body. I thought I was really, you know, just in, you know, normal, this dimension, 3D or whatever. Because I was just like, this is boring. I mean, I'm just sitting here in the grass, just, you know, in this strange city or whatever, looking around, doing nothing. Okay, so, and like I said, he probably confused me on purpose. So then, after that, it's like, okay, I felt like he placed me back over in, and they repeat the same things over and over again. I felt like he placed me over in that old apartment, triplex I used to live in 20 years ago. 20-something years ago. And I was sitting there inside the apartment. And, well, then he started doing all these sexual things. So I can't say a lot about that, but I could say one part, I guess. But so he's always like turning my thingy into hermaphrodite thingy. But this time what he did was like that one video I talked about where he made the head of a dong look like Miss Herpeton's head, my turtle. You know, I mean, Joel is crude, man. He's not sadistic or anything. He's just very crude and very perverted. And that he just thought up himself. I mean, because I've never seen anything like that. I never watched porn where a dong turns into a turtle head. You know what I'm saying? He made that up himself. But like I say, 80-90% of the time, they like to go from your brain, like all the shit that you've seen in your life or whatever. You know, they like to read your brain and everything, put all that in your experiences. But they have their own unique things that they put in my experiences as well. Okay, so this time, so I can't say a lot about the sexual stuff because it'd be embarrassing or whatever, but so then I looked down at my thingy, but this time he didn't like turn me into hermaphrodite. This time I was looking at my thing, and it's like out popped. It was like my toad's face. Like it started looking like my toad's face. You know, and I do have a toad, Amanda. She's a lot older than that little toad. That's a different toad, but she looks just like her, but that actually could be a male. I'm not sure. Actually, it could be a female, but it looks younger than Amanda. But so that was kind of weird. But yeah, he's kind of crude like that. So sometimes they can be kind of mean to my turtles and stuff in my virtual reality experiences and lucid dreams. Sometimes they could be kind of mean. There's a lot of experiences I haven't even talked about yet. I have a lot of lucid dreams that I was going to talk about, and I wrote them down. If I can remember most of all the details, which I probably can, then I may talk about them, but I just haven't got around to talking about all those Because sometimes I'll just boom, 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 have just tons and tons and tons and tons, and I just can't talk about all of them. But like I say, sometimes they just do really comical things, but sometimes they can get kind of mean with my turtles. You know, not in 3D, but virtual reality, and my out-of-body experiences and lucid dreams and stuff. But, okay, so anyway, okay, that other out-of-body experience I haven't talked about yet, where he put, well, actually, it was the reptilian, so to speak, posing as a black woman. I haven't posted that out-of-body experience yet that I had on May 28th. But, this other yeah, this, the one where he gave me 20 orgasms or whatever, that was before he gave me the out-of-body experience about the one that I just talked about, the black woman that was actually the reptilian. But that experience was right before he gave me that out-of-body experience. But I haven't talked about that out-of-body experience yet, where he made me swim fly. All through the experience, I was flying, but it was like I was swimming through the air, you know, through no gravity, of course. It was a blast. But I haven't talked about that one yet. But when he gave me the 20 orgasms, I can't talk much about that either, but have to edit a lot of parts out. But I can't say, no, sometimes they go over and beyond, you know, they go over and beyond the Call of Duty, but Joel, he's just a big pervert anyway. But anyway, there's only one thing I could talk about. So he made me look at this dong, you know, and I mean, and it was real and everything. And it's like, and some men really do have, you know, hairy legs like that, right? But as far as I know, I don't think their dong gets that hairy. But anyway, and when he gave me this virtual reality scene, and he was doing all these sexual things and blah, 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 he gave me like freaking, I mean, normally he doesn't go over and beyond quite that much, but he made he made this guy's dong like, I was like looking at it or whatever, and it was like all hairy. I mean, actually it was totally hairy. Like these are like legs, hairy legs, but it was totally hairy. But it was actually more tighter, little blacker curls, and so that was kind of funny. I mean, he's totally funny. Oh, and he's actually. That's not the only thing he has done. I mean, he has made my coochie, like, he has made the hair on my coochie like 20 inches long, too. I mean, he does funny shit like that. But yeah, I edit a lot of sexual stuff out. But anyway, but yeah, so, it was just a quick out-of-body experience he gave me, and then it kind of turned sexual. And then I thought I was going to talk about that other experience on May 28th where he gave me the 20 orgasms basically right before that other out-of-body experience, which I haven't talked about yet, which I'm going to talk about that because he made me eat a bunch of chocolate because he knows I like chocolate. So anyway, but it was just funny looking at this guy's dong. And it was all hairy. I mean, all hairy. Except, like I say, it was actually tighter little circle curls, tighter curls, and a little blacker. But it was just as hairy as these legs. So it's kind of funny. But, yeah, that's Joel, the big stud. And actually, Joel, he will not show himself to me 100% clearly. He never has. But I know that he is this type, whatever this type is called, that's him. And he even gives off the energy of this type of being. And I felt his freaking head when he took me out of body slowly at the foot of my bed. I don't know why he hasn't been coming to my bedroom. Like I say, I guess it's just harder for them to do that. He hasn't came into my bedroom in quite a while and pulled me out of body. But it's a blast. But I actually felt his forehead and his head, and it had knobs on his head. And this being has knobs on his head. And so I do believe Joel looks a lot like this being. Maybe not 100% exact. Because like I say, he will not show himself to me 100%. And, but not only that, like, there's one other out-of-body experience that I had in 2014, or abduction basically, in 2014. And it was like on a Friday. And then it was like that Sunday, that's when he took me down the hallway, but I didn't know it was Joel at the time. He took me down the hallway, and I did talk about that experience, and I reached back, and that's when I felt all the skillz on his stomach. And I do believe that more than likely was probably Joel as well, the same, being that gave me that experience on Friday as he did on Sunday, but that one he gave me on Friday, I hadn't talked about yet. Because that was the first time where it was like, I realized, wow, like, I'm just like asking this being for experience, and then boom, he's coming and showing himself to me and giving them to me. But he was way off at a distance. Way off at a distance, just standing there, and he looked kind of tall and lanky, and of course, I couldn't tell what the hell. I just thought it was some being that looked more human, but how the hell am I supposed to tell when he's that far away? No, he is not human looking at all, but I do believe it was Joel that gave me that experience, which I hadn't talked about that experience yet, but 2 days later, on that Sunday, when he took me down the hallway and took me around my living room and stuff, and I reached back and felt his skills and shit. Yes, I do believe that also was Joel, because he's kind of rough, and he like bam, like shoved me back into my body when he was done with me, because he's kind of rough like that. Well, anyway, thanks for listening.